The leaves crunched underfoot. Air, crisp and cool, bit at exposed skin. It was late autumn, the time for the annual camping trip to Golden Lake. The woods, ablaze with fiery reds and oranges, welcomed the five friends. This year, fear was an unwelcome guest. The friends, each carrying heavy backpacks, trudged along the familiar path. Golden Lake, nestled deep within the woods, had been their sanctuary for years. They came for the fishing, the laughter, the escape. This year, the woods seemed to watch them, their silence heavy with unspoken words. The campfire crackled, casting dancing shadows on the nearby trees. John, the practical one, tended to the flames. Lisa, ever the storyteller, recounted tales of past camping trips, her voice animated. David, the quiet observer, listened intently, his eyes reflecting the firelight. Emily, always cheerful, hummed a tune, trying to lighten the mood. Mark, usually the life of the party, sat withdrawn, his gaze fixed on the dark woods beyond.
What's wrong, Mark? You've been quiet all evening.
Just a weird feeling like we're being watched.
It's just the woods, Mark. Relax.
But Mark couldn't shake the feeling of unease. The woods seemed to press in on them, the silence broken only by the crackling fire and the pounding of his own heart. As the night deepened, Lisa launched into a local legend, the story of the Whisperer.
They say that a being haunts these woods. It lures people away with whispers, voices that sound just like your loved ones, calling for help.
The others listened, a mixture of amusement and apprehension on their faces. Only Mark seemed truly disturbed, his eyes wide with fear.
It's just a story. Don't let it spook you.
But Lisa continued, her voice taking on a chilling tone.
They say the Whisperer feeds on fear, on the desperation in your loved one's voice. It lures you deep into the woods and then you're never seen again.
Gasp! Mom? Hours later, nestled in their tents, sleep finally came. But Mark found no peace. The story of the Whisperer echoed in his mind, amplified by every rustle of leaves, every hoot of an owl. Then he heard it. A whisper, faint but clear, coming from the edge of the woods. His name, spoken in his mother's voice, filled with urgency and fear.
He sat bolt upright, heart pounding in his chest. The whisper came again, closer this time. It was his mother. He was sure of it. She needed him. Without waking the others, he crept out of his tent and into the darkness. The first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and orange. John emerged from his tent, yawning and stretching. He glanced around the campsite.
"Where's Mark?"
He asked, a note of concern creeping into his voice. The others, groggy and disoriented, looked around. Mark was gone. His tent was empty, the zipper still drawn. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced the morning calm. John found Mark's phone lying abandoned near the tree line, screen cracked, a single word displayed: "Help."
It's the Whisperer.
Emily whispered, her voice trembling.
The legend, it's real.
They had dismissed it as a campfire tale, but now, faced with Mark's disappearance, the legend took on a terrifying reality. Hours turned into a desperate search. The friends scoured the woods, their calls for Mark echoing unanswered. The forest, once familiar and welcoming, now seemed menacing. Every shadow a hiding place, every rustle of leaves a whispered threat. The fear, once a flicker, now raged like wildfire.
Mark, where are you?
This can't be happening.
We have to keep looking.
As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long, ominous shadows, they were forced to admit defeat. They gathered by the lakeshore, their faces etched with fear and despair, the weight of their friend's disappearance heavy in the air.
What do we do now?
The question hung in the air, unanswered, as the darkness closed in around them. The lake, usually a mirror reflecting the sky, was now a dark, unreadable expanse. The wind picked up, whispering through the trees, the sound eerily similar to voices calling their names.
They huddled closer, each one hearing their deepest fears voiced on the wind.
Emily, her eyes red-rimmed, thought she heard her little sister's voice calling for help.
David swore he heard his best friend, his voice strained with pain.
John, his practicality crumbling, imagined his father, his voice filled with fear.
Lisa, the storyteller, now wished she had never uttered the name, the Whisperer.
The line between reality and the supernatural blurred. Was it the wind, or was it the Whisperer, toying with them, feeding on their fear? The woods held its breath, waiting. One by one, drawn by the whispers, they moved towards the water. It called to them, promising solace, offering a reunion with their loved ones. Logic battled with the primal fear that urged them closer to the lake's cold embrace.
Emily was the first to succumb. With a heartbroken cry, she waded into the water, her eyes fixed on something only she could see.
The others, paralyzed by fear, could only watch in horror as the water closed over her head. John, his resolve finally shattering, stumbled towards the lake, his father's panicked voice echoing in his ears.
David followed, his friend's pleas spurring him forward.
Lisa, tears streaming down her face, was the last to go, her name whispered on the wind, a final chilling farewell.
The sun has set, and the lake is shrouded in darkness. Only ripples remain where the friends stood, a haunting reminder of their presence. The woods stood silent, the wind dying down to a mournful sigh. The campfire, long extinguished, offered no warmth, no comfort. The Whisperer had claimed its victims, their cries swallowed by the night. Only the legend remained, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of the familiar, waiting to claim its next victims. Golden Lake, once a place of joy and laughter, stood silent, a dark mirror reflecting the starless sky. The annual camping trip had become a tragic tale whispered by locals, a warning about the dangers of venturing too deep into the woods, of the unseen forces that lurked in the shadows. The Whisperer, they said, still wandered the woods, its whispers echoing through the trees, a chilling testament to the power of fear and the enduring nature of the unknown. The woods held their secrets close, a silent reminder that some legends are best left undisturbed.